Good afternoon.
Bienvenue. Bienvenue à Patroma Therapy, mes amis. How's the sound on this?
I thought you would say patromaterapia, Italian way.
Well, I was just waiting for you to correct me. No, I don't know.
I know it sounds patromaterapia because I Googled that a few days ago. And there's a button which you can just press and it says how it's supposed to be said in any languages. And it says
Great.
patromaterapia.
Good.
Voice
Well,
text
mille,
to speech, I guess.
mille grazie. Molto piacere. Molto piacere.
Have you found that interesting how language depends on the melody it has? Because especially English or Italian, when I was in London, some people live in a Cockney, for instance. I guess it's southeast London. I couldn't recognize any words. That just melodies
They live
there.
in what? They live in a what?
Cockney, it's a district. It's like South Bronx, I think, in New York.
Okay, but just say it a little bit slower. Coppingnock? How do you
Cockney.
spell it?
I think the
Cockney.
area is, I think the area is called Cockney. They have very distinguished dialect, which I found amusing.
Tony Carnes, I have not spoken with him on the phone, but he is one of our subscribers and he lives outside of London. He goes to the Tate Museum a lot and he is an artist himself. And I was telling him, he should totally come to New York. We can go to the Metropolitan, we can go to the Guggenheim, we can go all over. He goes, but I don't sound like a proper Brit. I sound like whatever his little regional dialect is. I go, well, I'm not inviting you to come to New York. I said, anyhow, we'll be staying with the lawyers. He goes, what lawyers? He was saying that he was just saying that he doesn't speak what everybody is fascinated by, British English. The King's
Yeah, British
English.
homie. British homie in the United States would be a movie star, the equivalent of a movie star. I don't know why, but British accent definitely attracts people all over the world.
Does it? Yeah, it does. No, it does. It does.
Maybe
Well,
it's just me. I could be wrong, but I'm confused by your question. Does it? Like it's not a thing, but yes, it does.
well,
Maybe I
as you
shouldn't be.
well, as you recall with our episodes, everything you think is wrong. So as we go back and look at some of our episodes and refer to some of our episodes, we're all making progress as we go along, and some people will have somebody with a British accent to answer their phone in the design district where they sell all kinds of rugs and furniture and all kind of high-end everything, because it makes it seem more classy and more expensive. But I think that's what you mean by the British accent. Well, we have several different subscribers from around the world. I'm going to call him Michael Mack. Michael Mack has made some interesting comments about Camus and about liking Hemingway. And so I wanted to say molto piacere to Michael Mack. I think he's Italian. We also have our German coalition. Lydia is in Ulm. And then what is the name of Manuel's channel? He's the artist who does drawing, sketches, and also clay modeling. How do you pronounce his channel?
Well, in Deutsch, that would sound like Ist mir Bust. I hope I'm not killing it, but translation would be something about is it my desire? I think maybe I'm mistaken. I apologize a lot.
No. Only thing we want to know is I don't speak German, so I just wanted to know how does it sound. I just wanted to hear the sound of it.
Okay. Hey, wouldn't that be great if somebody could just join our chat in the future? Talk about themselves.
That's what we're hoping to have a little bit further down the road. In some of the earlier episodes, Mark Stevens, who has his YouTube channel called Mark's Station, he joined us and talked to us about trains and his knowledge of trains. And then we were getting ready to possibly interview Tony Carnes, and then this, that, and the other happened, and we took a little bit of a break. But we have several people that are interested in joining the discussion. And if you look at the cover shot for our episode today, I'm going to go ahead and call it episode 23. The moon is going to be episode 22. Auras and energies 21. Everything you know is wrong, episode 20. So when people go back and look at episodes, if they have a number to refer to, they can find it more easily. But on our cover shot, that's 4 different friends. Some of them are new friends. Some of them don't even know each other. And we do have an episode about strangers. But on the cover shot, you will see to the left a fellow wearing red sunglasses. And it is at night. And it's in this dance bar that has a lot of musicians that come through, a lot of people that come through there after parties, musicians that come to play with other musicians after midnight. So on the left, you're going to see Amos. He's wearing the red sunglasses. And then right next to him is his friend named Austin. And then the young lady to the right, her name is Julie. And the fellow that is just above Julie, I'm going to call man friend. That is Julie's man friend. I forgot his name. Is it Chris? Is it Michael? I'm going to call him man friend. But I came into that bar and I thought, oh, I'm just going to go where the highest energy is. So when I enter a room, I have a strategy. I don't just like wander in. I'm going to go where the highest energy is because I'm there to have fun. So there was this great band playing and I wander in and I saw this table where Amos and Austin, another young lady named AJ, and another fellow named Clark. The 4 of them were there. They go, oh my God, you have to come sit with us. So I was wearing the Statue of Liberty hat, kind of a thing. It was like a headband that David had brought back from New York. Like, okay, I want to dance with you. Let's dance now. So like we were dancing, we're having fun, and then they want to do like tequila shots. And then I saw this other girl that I know, Julie, with her man friend. I know him, but I keep forgetting his name. Like, oh my gosh, you have to meet my new friends. Look, who are you? What's your name? Oh, my name is Amos, and my name is Austin. So we're all there. And it was just like this magnetic attraction to these new people. But, I'm pretty excited about this episode because we did an episode about strangers, and that was also, the cover shot was from this dive bar in East Dallas. Angel was in that picture, and he's with another fellow from Los Angeles who was wearing my glasses. I said, you're pretty amazing, but if you would wear these glasses, you'd be even más amazing. So más means more. So when you go into a room, do you enter strategically, or do you, hang around on the wall, like stay near the wall and watch, or do you, if you're going into a cocktail party, or if you're going into a social gathering, do you enter with a strategy, or you just kind of walk in and see what happens?
Well, I think there's been a study out which can actually profile you subject to where you go when you enter the room. Speaking about me, I would have probably walk along the wall, maybe, trying to be as non-discreet as possible. Yeah, I'm not that type of a guy who, like, by the end of each day says, no, I'm not being seen by enough people. I haven't been seen by enough people for today. Let's go to another place. No, that's not about me.
Well, I mean, I have this one famous saying that people know when they know me. I go, you only have one chance to make a first impression. So I've gone into several different places. The Magnolia Hotel is over 100 years old, which, by Texas standards, that's old. It's not as old as European stuff, but I went there with a young friend of mine, and we were going up the stairs, and she's going up the stairs. I go, wait a minute, Michelle, wait a minute. You can't just walk in the door. He goes, why not? We're going in there. I go, we have to stand at the top of the stairs. There's going to be a concierge We have to bowl him over. We have to get permission to enter the library club, which has the piano bar and all the expensive, swanky people. Says, okay. So we go to the top of the stairs, and this fellow is standing there scrutinizing everyone. I go, hello, my good man. And then I lean in to look at his name tag. I go, David, of course your name is David. He goes, well, how may I help you? I go, I love the library club, and we are here to enjoy the music at the library club. Then he looked up and down at both of us. He goes, okay, y'all can go in. And he gave us entrance to the library club where there's the piano bar. So if you would come up there, well, you could probably get in because you said you have expensive shoes, right?
Not right now, but yeah, I like them. I mean, everybody likes expensive, good-looking shoes. You can tell a lot about a man looking at his shoes.
Exactly. That's what I look at, a man's shoes. And, well, I mean,
what a naked man in good, expensive shoes. I mean, what would you tell about that man?
No, what I'm saying is, when I was sometimes, I've been in the classroom, like I'll talk, sometimes a couple students will hang around afterwards and just ask me questions about stuff. And then, or I'll become friends with some people, or maybe I was teaching, or I just like joke around about stuff. But, I say, when you're judging a man, don't look at his car, don't look at his watch, look at his shoes, and look at his thighs, because that's where the stamina is.
Thighs?
Thigh. Thigh. It's the upper part of his leg.
I know, yeah, but I don't know if the stamina really is, is at that place.
Well, I mean, if you play sports and you run, you've got good thighs. If you play tennis, or if you play racquetball, or if you ride a bicycle, or if you
you probably were going to say caboose or rear part. Caboose, by the way, Mark learned me that word, caboose, and I still remember that. It's train part, rear train of the part, part of the train.
Well, the caboose is usually
just too shy to admit.
No. I don't care about a man's caboose. Guys care about a woman's caboose. So they call it junk in the trunk. See what's in the trunk. Junk in the trunk. They call it. Yeah. But, and then...
I'll have to keep that in mind. I never actually thought that stamina can be inside, but I get the idea. Yeah, maybe that's it.
Well, I mean, what I mean is a person that can hold up on a date. Like, you don't want some guy to look really... I'm always joking with this one friend of mine, David, about how he has legs like chickens. But, he rides a bicycle, he goes hiking, he's a very active, great person. But I always tell him that his legs are too thin. But, it's just joking. But, some people, they go to this dance bar and they arrive and they're like blasted drunk by 8:45, and the band doesn't even come on till 10, and then they're playing really great at midnight, and then it's over by 2. So, if you're going on a date at a place like this, if you're just going there to meet people, you don't want to be like blasted out of your mind, drunk, falling down on the dance floor at 8:45, just playing the jukebox. So that's why I think that people should be able to stand up and last a couple hours. Don't you think people should be able to last a couple hours?
A couple hours is the minimum. Definitely should.
But, it's fun to go places and meet new people and, see what they're all about. It's very interesting because there's just been all these Austin, AUSTIN, Austin connections. That's where the big university is, University of Texas, and this Amos and his buddy Austin. Austin's name is Austin, and there's this other character who's completely hilarious. His name is Austin, and he goes with Kay. He hangs around with Kay Whitty.
Actually, if I am asked what place I would like to go most, I would say Austin. I don't know, for no reason probably. I've probably heard somewhere that many people from California are moving over to Austin because it's much, much better.
There's no state income tax. People are moving here from California, New York, Chicago, and like,
Yeah, but not about the tax. The tax is not the thing. They say that people are friendly, not unlike in New York, right? Or not like in New York, or
yeah,
not
no, I
like
mean
in
Texas
California.
hospitality is famous, and also there's
Hmm.
rivers, and there's places to go camping, and there's places to go hiking, and there's like political conversations, and
Exactly.
there's live music, and there's like whenever I go to Austin, like I went there when I was young, I went there when first daughter went to college, I went there when the second daughter went to college. Every time I go to Austin, Portland, Oregon is like that for me. I just
Mm.
suddenly feel alive. It's like, oh my gosh, there's people reading books and people laying on the grass, talking, and people riding bicycles. And,
Mm.
Dallas can be a bit drab with
Hectic.
everybody in the car all the time. Yeah.
Do you have any friends in Austin?
Of course, I have friends in Austin.
You have friends all over the world.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I have a wonderful fellow. I actually met him in Houston. He came into the writing center. I was teaching, and then I also was doing some time in a writing center where students come in and they put their papers there, and you give them some tips about their writing. You don't edit the paper. But his name was Charles Sissom, and he was from Cameroon. And he's such a wonderful, he calls me his godmother. Charles came from Cameroon. And when he was learning computers, he said he loves American education because when he was learning computers, you would be in a room with like 50 other people standing. There's no computers around, and there was a person writing on the chalkboard drawing a computer. So that's how he learned computers. And then he came into Houston, and he was getting his undergraduate degree at Houston Community College, and he just happened to meet me, and we started talking about writing. And then he went on. Oh gosh, I helped him learn how to write, and how to interview, and how to network, and how to just introduced him to a lot of people I know at the university who sponsored him, and then he got this fabulous job, and he was able to bring his mother there. So, he went from a very, very impoverished educational situation to just like boom, just like a dang gold mine. Came into Houston, which was a very international city, and then he's in Austin, and then I have I have like a lot of friends in Austin. I mean, just like so many people in Austin, like some of the professors, and also this other woman named Jennifer Harger, who was another writer, and she's in Austin. Yeah, Austin. Austin's great. I love
You said
Austin.
Jennifer. I remember uh, a strange recollection about the TV show called Friends. I think it was um, like 20 years ago, maybe
Yeah,
15.
Jennifer
It's over now.
Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston, she was a movie star in that. I like that show. There are so many funny episodes.
Well, why don't you just review? Because not everybody knows who are the characters on the TV show Friends. Who are just review for us who the characters are.
Well, I remember Chandler Bing. I don't know why this last name sounds funny enough to Monica, who was his girlfriend at the time, or I don't know. Does Bean sound fun to you? Like fun to you? I don't know. Not to me. Chandler Bean, and then Ross, and then Monica, his sister, and uh, Jennifer Aniston. I don't remember his name. Maybe it was Jennifer there. No, what was her
Well,
name
isn't
anymore?
isn't Phoebe the blonde?
Phoebe, yes, but Jennifer
She's the tall
Aniston. What
blonde,
was?
and Jennifer Aniston is one of David Anton's online crushes, TV crushes.
Yeah, but
And
what was her name in that TV show?
well, you're the
Jennifer
one that's
too.
remembering it.
That was a long time
Okay.
ago.
Well, one of our subscribers will write down below. They'll write in our comments. Well, the interesting thing about that show is that before that, television sitcoms, like situational comedies, sitcoms, were about the family, like, Leave It to Beaver, Father Knows Best, Bewitched. All these early sitcoms were about family, and Father Knows Best, and Mother Knows, and the children are naughty, and even Cosby Show. All of those shows were about the nuclear family, Generally, no one was having an affair. The kids were stealing something. Somebody forgot something. There was a naughty neighbor that, had a beer or something. So for years, in terms of like television history, the sitcoms were about the nuclear family, and that's the 50s and the 60s. But when Friends came along, these are all single people. They are hanging out on a couch, kind of flirting with each other and talking about, who likes who and what happened over there. So that it's not about a nuclear family. We don't exactly know who Chandler's mother is. We don't exactly know if Phoebe has a sister. I'm just kind of summarizing it. So this was one of the first shows that held up the mirror of the new single world.
Oh. No, I don't remember who Monica's mother was.
Because it's not about family. It's about jobs and flirting and like inappropriate stuff and people getting drunk and telling their secrets to each other. And the life of Friends, it's like Sex in the City, is not about family.
No, it's different. Friends are completely different, I think.
No, but what I mean
maybe it's subjective.
Well, I mean, what I just remember by Sex in the City is that it's not about family. It's about women just being wild and crazy in the city. So it is a new breed of sitcom that Friends paved the way for.
Could be, yeah. Friends has always been my favorite show. It's so fun and easy, and I feel good vibes coming off of it, like it was yesterday. And sometimes I get to see reruns and enjoy it.
Well, what are some of the episodes that you liked?
Do you remember Bruce Willis? He was Rosa had a girlfriend or crush on some student because he was a professor in the university, and he had a relationship, I think, with the student, and that student's father was Bruce Willis. That was a laugh. I don't know. I still remember it and smile.
There's another episode.
What's your favorite episode?
Actually, I didn't watch Friends.
Pity. Maybe you should.
No, I'm busy. No. What I'm saying is, I don't know a lot of the episodes, but I remember there was one where people were getting ready to go home for Christmas. So instead of it being about the nuclear family, like Father Knows Best or The Cosby Show or Leave It to Beaver or anything like that, it was about all these friends had to go home for Christmas, because Christmas you can't just hang out with your friends and drink and be stupid. You have to go deal with your family. So two people were in an office or something. It might have been Ross and what's her name? Jennifer Aniston. Yeah. And they were kind of awkwardly, well, gosh, hope you have a nice Christmas. Okay, well, bye. And then do you remember that episode?
No.
See, it's ridiculous to talk about this. Okay, so anyhow.
Hey, listen. Okay, no.
Okay, well, so anyhow, the show is not about the sanctity of the nuclear family, and also the show Seinfeld is about friends. Okay, so there's Kramer, and then there's George, and then there's Bennett, Elizabeth, isn't her name Bennett or something? And then there's Jerry Seinfeld. So there's one episode where George's father is having he's sick of family. He's like sick of everybody being annoying in New York, and he decides he's going to have Friendsgiving instead of Thanksgiving. It's Friendsgiving. So everybody shows up for this Friendsgiving, and it's just like a hilarious episode, and it has so much truth in it because, holidays are mandatory. Like, you have to see your family. You don't want to, but you have to.
Good. The subject of friendship is very interesting itself. There are so many interesting quotes and ideas. I don't know how to call it, books, whatever. I remember one that is quite funny. When with such friends, who needs any enemies?
Exactly.
It's how do you call that? When it's metaphor, not the metaphor. I don't remember anyway. But speaking of speaking of quotes, I always, when somebody says, give me any quote. I always think of Mark Twain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had lots of interesting quotes. I don't know where he get them, but I know the man was a genius. And
He was very, very witty.
yeah, and but there was another guy. What? Let me see if I have it in front of me. Maybe because we in the century of smartphones and computers, I can look it up. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, while you're looking it up,
The idea was that maybe it wasn't Mark Twain.
we'll find it. There's another one that we mentioned in the word stranger, the episode Strangers, that a stranger is just a friend that you haven't met yet. So when I went into that dive bar and I just walked in, a lot of the people were just strangers. But after we spent a little time talking and visiting and having a few drinks, you know, these are people I would like to see again. Like I would like to go to brunch together. And Austin was very interesting. He was talking about he likes the Saint Martin de Porres. And that is one favorite saint of mine. And so here we were like 1:30 in the morning talking about a really serious topic about saints and about synchronicity. And it was just like so fascinating to me that you could just suddenly run into a stranger and he could become a friend.
Like you said, a friend is an enemy. Oh no, that was the enemy. Well, a stranger is a friend you don't yet know, right? Was that it? The stranger is the friend you don't yet, you haven't met yet, something like that. Hey, I found a quote. It wasn't, but I was looking for Mark Twain. Instead, I came upon Oscar Wilde quote, but I like it. True friends stab you in the front. I mean, that's very deep. I don't know if you can understand that. Of course you do.
Yeah.
But true friends stab you in the front.
Yeah, the backstabber. That's a cool, hilarious song, Backstabber. But a backstabber is someone who's nice to your face, but says bad things behind your back. So the expression backstabber has come into our vocabulary. So when Oscar Wilde says a true friend is someone who has the guts to like stab you in the front. So,
but the presupposition is that the friend and enemy is the same thing, maybe only. Because who would stab you in the front, the enemy? But then,
for example, a real friend will tell it like it is. A real friend will not mince words. A real friend will face you and tell you what you need to hear. Whereas a false friend will like just monkey around and they say pussyfoot around like a little cat. Like, you know, I have a couple real friends and they'll say things like, get over it. Or like, I don't know, like, all these buildings burned down around where I live, and the fire stopped at my back window, and we're like 15 fire trucks, and it went on for hours and hours and hours and hours, and I was like very traumatized, and then I couldn't get out, and I just took some old photographs and some bunch of gold jewelry, and I just walked across this bridge over to the lake, and then my friend David came to meet me, and he goes, we're going back in there. I go, we're not going back in there. I'm traumatized. He goes, we're going back in there. You're stronger than you think you are. So, we had a couple of drinks. We ate some pizza, and like everything was smoldering. I saw a huge plume of smoke come up in the sky, and I thought, my car is blown up. My car is blown up, and like everything that I own, all my stuff is gone. It was very traumatic. And David is a true friend, and he said, you're stronger than you think. So a true friend will tell it to your face.
Hey, you mentioned the car. Do you remember I sent you a video just before we started recording? The two friends riding the same car, and remember that from Fight Club?
Yeah.
It's a very famous movie. I love it. I mean, I've told you that I've watched it 1,000 times and didn't understand until, I don't know, 2001. Time.
Well, for some of our viewers, probably have seen a lot of movies and some of them haven't, but Fight Club features Brad Pitt, and he has these group of fellows around him. It's called the Fight Club, and they do these different adventures, And the clip that you sent me to look at just a few minutes ago, there's the one fellow in the passenger seat, then there's Brad Pitt driving, and then there's two guys in the back. And it's raining, and they're going down a freeway, and the character that plays Brad Pitt says, "Tell me something that you want to do before you die. Tell me something you don't want to, tell me something that you don't want to regret. What do you want to do if this was your last moment?" And one of the guys says, "I want to paint a self-portrait." And the other guy says, "I want to build a house." Then he turns to the guy in the passenger seat and says, "Tell me what you want to do." He goes, I don't know. Like, stop screwing around. Like, we're going to get a collision. We're going to get a collision. He goes, "Tell me something." So what he's doing is trying to make a man out of the guy in the right and to get him to commit to something. Like, we spend a lot of our time just wasting time. And the specific episode that you sent that's very, very famous is those guys in the car. And I don't exactly understand it either. What do you get out of that scene?
As I told you, I watched it 1,000 times and didn't understand much, but it cheered me up enormously. I think this is a masterpiece. I haven't read the book because I know there was a book before they filmed it. What I want to say is, I don't know if it's applicable to women. I was going to say no, but then I remembered my grandmother who had her childhood friend throughout her life, and I know a few other examples.
Say it again.
But with men, it's different.
What happened to your grandmother?
No, she died a long time ago, but she had a friend throughout her life, childhood friend. I think they've been together for 19 years. They kept in touch, throughout life. But with men, it's different, I think. With this Fight Club movie, when those guys in the car was paramilitary style answering the question, what would you do before you die, or build a house? Or what I want to say is that the friendship builds mostly, in case with men, in the army style situations. I remember when I was a soldier, at the time I was thinking when it was gonna be over, but then now I think that was maybe the happiest time of my life. And I don't know how it works with women, honestly. There should be something different.
Oh, well, I just know that time. Well, in our Western culture, men are socialized not to express feelings, and women are socialized to express feelings. So, are there women that are hard and cold? Yes. Are there men that are emotional? Yes. But in Western society, the social norm is for men to, suck it up, get over it, not to be a baby, don't cry, don't express your emotions. So I think the way we're socialized, when men are in combat, they're sleeping in the barracks together, they're running through the trenches together, they're watching people die together, they're eating together. So there's a sort of forced intimacy, emotional intimacy in combat.
But what's interesting? I've read this story a long time ago about two astronauts. You call them astronauts. We used to call them cosmonauts. Who was in one spaceship? It's a real case. Probably there are lots of studies on it too, and maybe described somewhere, for a year, I guess, or for a long period of time. And once they landed, they never ever been in touch with each other, because somehow, like I'm with my friends, or I don't know, maybe it's just.
You mean after they got out of their mission, they never continued?
Yeah, with someone, people with whom you live through very complicated situations. When it's over, you don't want to call it back, and you subconsciously avoid the contacts, any contacts possible. With
I know. I know. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, because, for example, I always thought that I would move back to Austin. That when my oldest daughter came back to Texas, they would buy a house or some land. I would probably live with them or in another little house nearby. And we love Austin. Like, they have the best vodka. Well, I mean, I know Russian vodka is famous, but like Deep Eddy vodka, there's like artesian wells there. There's swimming, there's hiking, there's books, there's intellectual life. To me, Austin was like my Paris when I came back from Europe. I loved Austin, so I always thought I'd live in Austin. But you know, what happened is that I was in Houston, and now I'm in Dallas, and I've had to adjust to the fact that like I'm not in Austin. And when it came a chance to move out of Dallas, the place I had an opportunity to move to was Houston. Like I did not want to go back to Houston. To me, I had some great students. I had some great classes. I have some friends still there, but to me, it was like old trauma territory. And
Mhm.
Someone said, "Well, why didn't you want to go back there?" Like I go, "Yeah, it's like going back into a nightmare that every single corner is going to remind you of." So I did not want to go back
Exactly.
to Houston. I did not want to go back to Houston. And sometimes some former students that I taught 15 years ago, now they own bars and clubs and galleries and things like that. And they've said if I ever want to do an art show or something like that, they'll host the show and provide the drinks and the hors d'oeuvres and just please come back to. But see, I'm not the same person I was. Just like you said, you were in the military with some guys and
Mm.
went through a lot of intense stuff. But like, you're kind of not that same person. Like you've moved on, right?
I read it somewhere that people, the cells, our cells in the body, of which the body is built of, is renewed every 7 years. So we are verbally, or how do I say that? We are not the same person once 7 years pass. Every 7 year we are renewed totally. I don't know if it's true or not, but it makes
No,
me
I did.
think.
No, I did read that. And I was thinking that when you and I originally met, we kind of met through talking about art and music and travel. And I was thinking that this fall we will have known each other 7 years. I was thinking, oh wow, that's kind of interesting because seven's sort of a magical number. But I also was flipping through some old books of just different poems and different thematic topics that I write on and stuff like that. And I saw this quote just last night, or maybe it was early this morning, that every 7 years, all the cells are
Yeah,
replaced.
that's
Yeah,
what
I
I
mean,
meant. So, but we feel the same. So maybe there is a conscious inside of us that didn't get, didn't
it
influence,
meant their
didn't
way.
feel time, or I don't know, didn't get influenced by time, or didn't grow old, I don't know, didn't die, whatever. That's why we think. By the way, interesting thought. Well, your body temperature, I don't know how much it is in Fahrenheit, because in Celsius that would be 36.6. And even a degree is less and more, you feel like you're getting sick, just a degree. And the whole
Oh yeah.
situation, yeah, but we feel like we're built like of, I don't know what is indestructible, because your soul inside of you says you're eternal, but your body doesn't. I mean, your body, you feel like your body is eternal. That's where your mistake is, because your soul is telling you, but you
Right.
misunderstand the message. You think that your body is eternal, but then again, go. I don't know the. Um,
Well, when we think about like Cartesian dualism, like there's body and then there's soul, but there's also mind, there's consciousness. But I'm saying many people have a mechanistic view of the body. Like we've got arms that are screwed onto a torso, we've got some feet screwed onto the bottom as if we're a robot. But I just know that I used to be able to go out dancing a couple nights a week and just like, oh, drink and stand around, talk to people. I can't do that. I cannot do that anymore. And I can go out one night a week on the weekend. Or like, let's suppose you like to ride a bicycle or go skateboarding or longboarding or something like that.
exactly.
Are your knees the same knees you had 10 years ago?
Don't ask me that question. I don't feel comfortable.
Okay, moving right along.
Hey, I'm looking for Chinese proverbs about friends, because Chinese wisdom, I think, is top notch.
Okay,
Right?
I have in front of me the Tao of Relationship, a guide to friendship for the new age. I'm going to randomly open it up and see what it says.
What?
Oh, wow, it's about silence.
I found one, but I think it's funny. Maybe it's
No,
not
read,
even
read it,
Chinese.
read it, read it, read it to me.
I have money, you have money, so we are friends. shouldn't be Chinese, right? Sounds kind of stupid.
No, I like it. There's a wisdom in it because
Really?
because
What
some
kind of
people
wisdom?
because some people like when they go to a bar, they don't really care about who they talk to. They got money. Someone else has got money. They're just sitting there at the bar. Like they're not really interested in getting engaged in conversation or anything meaningful. That's what they call the bar flies. They just hang around like flies. And yeah,
Yeah. Hey, listen to this. It is much easier to visit friends than to live with them. I think
true.
that's spot on, right? It's like idea of
Read that,
paradise. I think. Go on.
now read that again more slowly so it'll sink into my head.
It is much easier to visit your friends than to live with them.
Yeah, I mean,
Get that?
there's a Turkish proverb. Let me see, how is it in English? You can really get to know someone by traveling with them, by eating with them, and then there's one more thing. So the idea of just visiting a friend, you just go over there an hour and a half, you have tea, you talk, small talk, and you go home. But you travel with someone, you find out about who they are. You eat
Exactly.
with
It's like,
someone, you find out who you are.
remember a few years ago, I guess, I told you about that funny quote which ran like, happiness is having a large family in another town. The idea is that it's not with you. It's somewhere else.
Right.
It's everything's good, but it's not with you. That's
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
happy most.
No, it's true. I had been looking forward to. I had not been up to Portland, Oregon for 2.5, 3 years, and I just couldn't wait to get out of Dallas. And then when I was up there, I had a wonderful time. I got to do a lot of things and visit with family. It was really great. But East or West, home is best. I was glad to come back home. But I
Also,
think that
wherever you go,
having a
there you
family.
are.
That's right. That's right. Wherever you go, there you are. Gosh, we're just
Because
full
if
of
you're
fun.
neurotic in New York or somewhere else in London, if you go to Houston or Austin, you still be neurotic, right?
Yeah, because you take it with you. Like
Right.
the only wisdom you're going to get out of Petroma therapy is the wisdom you already got. We're just going to
Ah,
help it come
that
out.
deep.
Yeah,
I think that wraps up our episode, right?
I think so too. And I'm going to go ahead and ring the bell.
Thank you.